Hello, my name is Sharon and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot. This is part 9 of all of my decks from A to Z, and this is just the S decks. And it's going to be a long ride, so get a drink and come back and relax. So the first deck in the S decks is the Spacious Tarot. And this is one that I found because of Starlight Tarot. She is a big fan of this deck, and I kept seeing her sharing it. I was like, what is that deck? I must have it. It's the box. So it comes with a guidebook, and it is a little bit hard to read because of this cursive font they chose. Yeah, the font looks nice, but it makes it harder to read. Anyway, it's a nice little guidebook. And it's gilded in silver, and those are the backs. They're nice. And the cardstock is not my favorite cardstock. It's this thinner kind, and when you bend it, it kind of wants to hold the bend, so I have to be really careful with it. And it is photographic collage, more like a modern day, though less traditional, but it is very coherent. Internal cohesion it has in the color scheme and the way things were done. Nothing feels out of place. There are no cards that I entirely dislike. There's one or two that I feel, like this one, is going to date itself very quickly. And others, like this one, that are more timeless. That one, maybe a little too topical. I like that one. That one's nice. Not my favorite High Priestess of all time. You know, football maybe a little too topical. But there's reasons behind what was chosen. Again, something that's going to date itself, I feel. It's a nice deck, and I do like it, and I'm glad I have it. Oh, there's the Michelle Pfeiffer card. I don't know if she just looks like Michelle Pfeiffer to me. I just wish that maybe the creator had avoided quite so topical cards that may, in even just a year or two, be dated. So that is the Spacious Tarot. And this is my second Nigel Jackson deck that I have. So the other one was the Rumi Tarot, and this one is the Secrets of the Rose Tarot. I actually like this better. I wish that the Rumi had its artwork as big as this one does. And everything else, I think, by him is pretty much out of print and insanely expensive. So I will be satisfied with this. It is a pippy deck. Sort of, it says his style is like these pips with feelings that have these little cameos in the middle of them. And this is a nice book. This is a mass market deck. So it wasn't expensive. It came in one of those big boxes, though. It's by Llewellyn, so a big Llewellyn box. So I keep the book separate and the cards in a bag. And I just like this artwork. I like that world card. Oh, and so the style of this, I like that ace. The style of this, I forget, and if I remember, I will put it somewhere. Has these names on the court cards. I like that High Priestess. And it's interesting, lovers. So I'm not sure what this is about. And I may have to pause. Love that devil. Nice star, like the moon. So there you go. So we have Lancelot for the Page of Wands, and Argene for the Queen, and Alexander for the King, And I don't know where the knight is. Was this the knight over here somewhere? Wherever it was, I don't know where it is. So I'm going to pause for a second. All right, well, I looked in the book and I could not quickly find what is behind these names on these cards. I've seen it in another deck that I can't recall. It's one with a unicorn on it, like that one. And so the knights do not have names on them. And I can't, if I remember, I will try to find the other deck that I am referring to that has that same system. Wish I could think of it right now. Like that ace mermaid. I think there's more than one mermaid in this, but not looking very carefully through it. So that's the Secrets of the Rose Tarot. This is the Serpent and the Peacock Tarot, which there is currently, and maybe when you see this not anymore, a Kickstarter for a borderless version with some changes to cards and lots of alternate cards and extra cards in it. I think it's up to 10 extra cards right now. So it's gilded, this one. And it has these white edges, which I didn't love. I ordered this like 2 weeks before I found out about the Kickstarter. I probably wouldn't have gotten it had I known. And it's not like make playing cards, cardstock. And so it's like a lot of medieval art. Do this other way. And I believe the project started as it was going to be an oracle, maybe, if I remember correctly. That's a crazy tower. And then turned into a tarot. So it's some very interesting art, but I love that magician. I mean, it really doesn't represent magician as we know it. I just love that. Some of the art is better than others like that, but you know me and faces on the sun and the moon, love it. That one's weird. Some of it is weird like that. And quirky. Feels like Madame Lydia's like quirky cousin, maybe. So it has that same tone to me, but a little, takes itself a little less seriously. And then the guidebook, get these out of the way. So the Kickstarter one, I'm not sure how different the guidebook, I might be hardcover, but there's a lot of info in here. I think the one on the Kickstarter is going to be like a more of an art book style, but still a guidebook. But don't quote me. And I think there's also a PDF. I can't remember. I don't think you have to buy this book. I don't think this book just comes with it. I think you can download it or get it for less as in an e-form. So that is the Serpent and the Peacock. And this is Shadowscapes. And I have the Czech version and I have this companion guidebook. And I think in here I have the English, because I had the English edition too, so I have the English little white book. And I also have the art books. So I'm not going to look at the art books in this video because I have another video that I do a side-by-side of the English and the Czech version and show those books there. So this was inexpensive when I got it. I don't know if it still is. And it is a nice book. And you don't need those big art books for this, but the art books are nice. And then the Czech version, if you don't already know, is larger cards so that you can see the art a little better. And it's weirdly bowed, and so some of them are bowed some way, and it does weird things, but that's okay, I don't care. And gilded, as you can see. And then this is the English little white book from the English version of the deck. And because I don't read Czech, let's see if I need to zoom in. Because I don't read Czech, I put the numbers and the symbols on the cards because it isn't always evident what they are. And the majors have the numbers, and most of the names are not that far off. I think I'm liking this piling them up way better. So it isn't that hard with those. But like this, I would not know what that is without the symbols and everything on it. There's a lot of mermaids in this deck. And it's just beautiful art. And the big art book does have these images much larger. So should you decide to splurge on it because you love the art, maybe you don't even want the deck. Maybe you just want the book. Because you can look in the book, see the artwork. There's another mermaid, a lot of mermaids. So you can see why this would appeal to me. And actually, this is a little bit more glossy than the English version, which actually makes it pop more. Another mermaid, and the color in this one, I believe, if I remember from my side by side, is actually more vibrant. And foxes, and more foxes, and swans, and feels very Lord of the Rings, elvish. Like this is where the elves in Lord of the Rings live. I want to live here with these people. I mean, even the tower is beautiful. So yeah, that's the Shadowscapes. And this is the Ship of Fools Tarot. It comes in a bigger box, to accommodate this big book. And so I keep it in a bag. And then the book separate. And it comes with these spread cards. And it is a very fun deck, and I'm trying to remember where I saw this originally. Might have been Elle at Sacred Seed. Might have been. Anyway, it's by Brian Williams and has a big book published by Llewellyn. I don't know if it's still in publication, but I found it easily and inexpensively, like incredibly inexpensive. Maybe $10, including shipping. Maybe. But it is very fun, and it talks about how they came up with these images and everything. And some tarot history. So totally worth less than $10 that I spent. Let's zoom in. So the Fool is in every card, I think. If not every card, almost every card. Let's see. Or is he just in every major arcana card? See, there's the Fool and the Ace of Cups. There's the Fool there. Fool is the Knight. So it's a very fun deck that, you're taking the Fool's journey to its extreme by having the Fool be in every card. Or nearly every card. And it is just this cream and brown. It's not even black ink, it's like brown. I've thought about getting a second copy and coloring one of them, which might be fun. In fact, I may do this after this video. I've talked myself into a lot of crafty projects and trimming and such as I go through these videos. Like, wouldn't it be fun to have this crayfish colored in? Yeah, it's kind of a crazy deck. It's very fun, very cheeky. And so that is the Ship of Fools Tarot. And this is the Slow Tarot, which is a really beautiful deck. I really like it. And I edged mine, get the book out of the way, I edged mine in this color to match the backs. And this is the little white book that comes with it. It has a fair amount of info on each card in the majors and then the minors. Kind of do this thing that a lot of books do where they have the number and then for each suit a little blurb. And I think these are all oil paintings. And it's just really beautiful. Some people dislike that card. I take no offense to it. They feel like people that you could meet in your life, death. Nice moon. The aces are all borderless like this. The only borderless cards in the deck. And that's nice, like that one. There's the Fool. There's a lot of age diversity and body diversity and enough realism in it, the world, that it feels like things that you and people that you would or could encounter in your life. That's the Slow Tarot. And this is the Slavic Legends. Keep it in this bag that it came with. I got the limited edition, which is the bigger cards, and it came with a fancy box. It's actually up here. I will go grab it. So it came in this wooden box. Oh, that's what that is. It's big and it's kind of a weird shape. It's very cool, but I do not store my cards in it, and I do not have a use for it as of yet. So these are the backs, and these are big cards. That's how much bigger than regular tarot the large size is. And it's matte, but it's more satiny. It's almost like it feels like it's rose petal, but it's not. So there's an alternate moon and an alternate devil. Yes, there is. So I think if you get the regular size decks, you don't get the alternates. These would actually, I think these are the ones you would get. And I switched them out. I like this moon, but the moon I have in here I like a little better. And they say, yes, there's the moon I chose. I believe there is a guidebook in the works, which will be nice because I don't know Slavic legends. So even though I think these cards are beautiful and they are RWS based, it's beautiful temperance. So you can't read up with it that way. I'm so curious about what the stories are behind these cards. A lot of them. Love that Two of Coins. And I'm pretty sure that when it comes out, and I'm assuming I'm going to have to pay extra to get it, even though I spent a lot on this, I will order the smaller, one of the smaller editions. Probably there's a glossy and a matte, and I think I'm going to get the glossy and the smaller. It's a nice Fool. So yeah, that's the Slavic Legends Tarot. And would a collection be complete without a Smith-Waite? So this is the Centennial. I don't have the one that comes in the big box with the book and extra stuff. Just the cards. And we've all seen this many, many times. This is the deck I learned with, the deck I studied with. This is the deck that, when I'm reading with another deck, these pictures pop into my head as a reference. And I like the colors in it. I like how it, I don't mind this cardstock. It's a little thick, a little stiff. It's US Games, isn't it? Yes, it's US Games. And this one comes with some extra cards, which are artwork by Pamela Coleman Smith for other projects. Not a whole lot more to say about that one. The Smith-Waite Tarot Deck Centennial Edition. And this is the Smoke, Ash, and Embers, the sister deck to the Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and comes in the same really nice embossed tuck box. A guidebook is a PDF that I have downloaded and printed, and it comes with these meanings cards, just some keywords on them. It's just an extra card in there. And I do not have the mini. I'm not a giant fan of mini decks. I don't use them. I have big hands, but this is chunky, very chunky. I think you can still riffle shuffle it were you inclined to do so. And the artwork is by Adam Ohlers. I do that same thing I've been doing. And it's dragons. And they are, look at that. The artwork is just so gorgeous, and it's RWS based, and it's dragons, and it's Adam Ohlers artwork, and he is amazing. And I will buy anything that they make. Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ohlers together, because they're just so beautiful. Is that the Fool under there? There's the Fool. The Magician. Look at that guy. High Priestess. The majors are just, I think all of it is just so everything. It's just everything. And they even give you a little thank you card. So that's the Smoke, Ash, and Embers. And to follow up with more art by Adam Ohlers, this is the Soul Cats. The book is by Lisa Robertson, and I think this is a Llewellyn publication. Yep, it is. So while we're zoomed out, we can look at the book real quick. It is the only cat deck that I own. I love cats. I have cats. But as far as like pet decks, even though I love it, I don't use it a whole lot. And it is RWS based. It's just cats being cats. Not too anthropomorphized, but a little. And it's a nice guidebook. And it came in a big box that I don't keep it in. Because if I kept every big box, I'd have no storage whatsoever. And then there's some spreads in the back. So that's the book. Let's zoom in and look at the cards. So this is the back, and if I'm not incorrect, the Tarot of the Owls, is that what it is? Which I don't have and probably will never get. Also by Llewellyn. Also has an eye on the back like this. It's like an owl eye, and it's more feathers. Interesting. I don't think I'm wrong. And it's Llewellyn cardstock, which is okay. I should edge it. Would look nice edged, wouldn't it? Nice dark blue. Super cute. And like I said, I love Adam Ohlers art. I will buy almost anything that man does artwork on, because, I don't know, just really appeals to me. And these are very evocative images. They do, even though they're cats, you get the idea. Judgment, that's awesome. And the light's changing on me. Two of Cups. So it's not like this one, you know, it's not what you usually see for Two of Cups. At least that's not what I see in my head. Oh, that's adorable. Like that hermit. So I like this. I should use this more. I should also edge it. Soul Cats. And this is the Spacious Tarot. This is actually one of the first tarot decks I got, because the creators live here in the Salt Lake area of Utah, which is where I live. Comes in a nice box. The cards are actually a little bit smaller than the regular tarot. It's just a little bit shorter. So maybe handy for people with a little bit smaller. Those are the backs. This is the guidebook, which is very nice. I like it a lot. And they have a lot of online resources on their website. And they also have an expansion pack, which I did not include here, but I do have. It has Zodiac and Element cards. And a lot of the imagery in here, I'm going to do this the same way. I love that Judgment. I love that Hermit. A lot of the imagery in here is Utah-based, which I think is very cool. Really like that moon. High Priestess. And it's all just landscapes. There's hardly any, so it's first person perspective. There's very few animals in it at all, and no people whatsoever. So even though it technically is a pip deck, it just doesn't feel like that to me. All of the courts are cups. The cups are all koi, I guess. Love that. And then the wands are salamanders. And that, yeah, there's the salamander. And the pentacles are bears. Which one am I missing? Cups. The swords. Quartz. Ah, yeah, birds. Okay. So that's the Spacious Tarot. And this is the Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation Edition first printing. I also pre-ordered a copy of the second printing, which is going to be a little bit different. And this is the Book of Maps, which is a chunky book, and I have not got to reading this yet. There's some books ahead of it, but it's like 700 odd pages. So this is definitely one I'm going to be studying. But you don't need that to read with the deck. Really nice box. Matte, super nice. And so the deck does come with a little white book, so you don't technically need the Book of Maps, because this is also, it's very comprehensive. So there's that, and it is gilded. It is wonderful cardstock. Those are the backs. This is probably my favorite cardstock. And it has a seeker card. I think there's 3 different seekers you can choose. So when we run across it, we will compare. So I think in the next printing, she's bumping up the color. So some of the majors have been renamed. And you have these, so your normal title and then this other title up here. Additional information. It's this deck is like everything. All the esotericism that you can imagine piled into one deck. So you don't need to know all of it to read with it, because you know there's the 7 of Pentacles. The court cards have been renamed. It's the Herald. I forget. There's the Herald, the Knight. You have an Archangel. I'll have to look in the book. Yeah, so there's a certain amount of mental gymnastics, or things you, oh look, mermaid. Things you need to remember to be able to read with this, or be willing to look it up. There's these. Yeah, see. I don't know. Let's see what the book says. Let's get it out. So if we go to the wands. The shields are the queens. Okay, so here they are. They're sorted out in here. So the archangels are the kings. And the shields are the queens. The shining ones are the knights. So that's a shining one. And the heralds are the pages. So I mean, that does look like a knight, doesn't it? I don't think it's not too far off. So we have 19 is the warrior instead of the sun. There's another knight. The knight. No, that's a king. Archangel is the king. So, yeah. There's a lot in here. It's really just amazing artwork. Let's see if I can find that other. So we have 3 fools. We have the initiate, the seeker, and what is the other one? See if I can find it. There it is. So, yes, the Spirit Keepers. And this is my other straight up RWS deck. So this is the Starlight by Herzer. So these are hand-drawn. They're RWS and they are recolored. And then they are laminated and hand-cut. Those are the backs of this one. And they are smaller also than a regular tarot. Get one out. A little smidge. There you go. It's a nice little size. They are not inexpensive though. But I think they've gone up. And they don't have titles. So it's a good memory game for me on these. too. But I really love all the blue sky in this, and all the purples. Purple and green are my favorite colors. But it's your usual RWS. Wow. That you don't have your usual colors. The Hermit. I like the colors on that and that. So yeah, you lose somewhat if you are, basing your readings off the colors in the cards and those traditional meanings of the colors. You lose some of that. But I really, really like this, and I also have the traditional. So that is a Starlight Illuminated Tarot by Herzer. And you are not seeing double. I have 2 editions of the Star Power Tarot because I really, really like it. So this is the Crystal Edition, which we will see is like holographic on the front. It's the regular one. They both come in a 2-part box. So the Crystal Edition comes with a better guidebook. Let's get out the other guidebook. So it's thicker, and this one just has keywords and is just really a pamphlet. This is more of a little white book, and has a little bit more for each card in it. This is the Crystal Edition, and this is the regular edition. Gilding. Otherwise, they're the same thickness, and they have the same back. And I'm not sure on camera how much it's going to show up that this one has that holographic finish on the front of it. I think it's side by side, you can kind of tell. Especially in a card like that, you can see the difference in it. And I only just recently got this. I just think it is really, really cool. And Mistress Ray, I think, is the one that finally convinced me, watching one of her videos more than once, to get this. I think she was creating a magpie of the star power and the moon power, and I overwhelmingly would have chosen cards from star power, and that's when I decided to get it. I love that. And it is weird and kind of creepy and feels like the even weirder cousin of the Rain Coast Tarot, if you can get any weirder than that. Or maybe equally as weird. Maybe they're siblings. Maybe they're fraternal twins. So yeah. It's a very cool deck. Feels sort of alienish, and I'm not one normally for aliens, but aliens that still seem human. So yeah, that is the Star Power Tarot. This is the Star Trek Tarot, which my daughters gave me for Christmas because I love the original Star Trek and I love tarot. So there you go. And I think the premise here was that there's 78 episodes and each card has a picture from one of the episodes. And so then in here, in the book, it explains to you the episode that it came from and actually talks about the card. And it has an extra card in it, the alien, or more than one, 2 alien cards. Yes. And it talks about tarot itself. Comes in this nice 2-part box. And it is nice cardstock. I think I edged this in black. I don't think it came edged. Now I can't remember though. It's more of a bronzy looking color, so maybe I didn't edge it. Maybe it came this way. I don't recall. And it's nice cardstock. And for any of you who are fans of the old Star Trek, you will recognize the people in these cards. So it's very fun. I have not used it yet. It may remain one of my very few fandom decks that doesn't really get used. I don't know. May just for fun do a reading with it. There you go. Spock's mom, Spock's dad, Spock's wife. So yes, very fun. The Star Trek Tarot. And this is the Stolen Child Tarot, which feels very much like a storybook tarot, and it is based upon it's right here, Stolen Child poem by Yeats. Yes. So the poem is in the back of the zine. I think this zine is extra, but it's not expensive, $5-ish. And so this has all the card meanings in it. There's also a PDF available. So you don't need this book because the PDF is free when you get the deck. And this is one of the few decks where it does have a QR code on it, and it is not a counterfeit. So I'll show you what I speak. Where's it's one of these nice boxes, and there's the QR code. It's not on the outside though, it's on the inside. And it has 2 extra cards. There's a sample of the artwork. I've toyed with trimming this. I may yet. Those are the backs. May yet, just a little bit, just enough to make this white border smaller. And they are bigger cards, so it's not like I'd be turning it into a tiny deck. It wouldn't hurt it. at all. Is it? It's even taller. Yes. Okay. I may have just convinced myself to trim this. Let's do it the same way I've been doing it. And so these are all children who have been taken away to the woods or the ocean or somewhere and are turning into the creatures that have adopted them. And it's very cool. Feels very much like it's a story of transition. Love that sun. Love that card. I just really, really like this art, and I really love the storybook feel of it. Bats like bats. I just think it's really cool. I know this is not for everybody. That's a weird card. So you have Zephyrs for air, and Oak for pentacles, Brine for cups, and Flame for wands. So it isn't, love that moon. It isn't hard to remember, even though they've been renamed. The majors stay the same, and the court cards stay the same. Death is unnamed. It's kind of like Oak, Ash, and Thorns, nightmarish cousin a little bit, maybe. Anyway, that's the Stolen Child. Okay, and this is the Stretch Tarot. This is the special edition, limited edition, whatever he's calling it. You order it off of Make Playing Cards, so it's the linen edition, whatever he's calling this stretch person is calling it. So I edged mine in this dark brown to go with the dark brown edges on there and the dark brown on there. And it comes with 2 Six of Pentacles, 2 Wheels, 2 Two of Swords, and 2 Magicians. So these are the ones that I'm not using right now. A collage deck. And it is, you've probably seen it because it is a very popular one. So I've turned around. Oh, that's right, I was doing reversals with this. And it's really cool. I think it is very well done. And this one is linen. So it is Make Playing Cards, I think. I don't know. Anyway, there'll be a link. So if it's not Make Playing Cards, it's Game Crafter. And if you want it, you will have a way to purchase it. So I really have learned to really, really like collage decks. I have many that I like very much now. Love that card. Star. So it's very cool. And anyone can get it. There's 2 versions of it for sale. There's this one, which is more expensive, and then there is another which is almost half-ish as much, maybe not, I don't know. Make Playing Card shipping is not nice, but shipping is like in the US anyway. I don't know if they ship outside the US, but I live in the US and it still costs like $10 to get a deck shipped. And then I thought once that, I love that cups, that if I ordered more, I'd save on shipping, but no, the more decks you get, the more the shipping costs. So, it's one thing I don't like about Make Playing Cards. I don't know that Game Crafter or anybody is any better with it. And I'm getting over it. Anyway, that's the Stretch Tarot. And this is the Stunning Tarot. So the 1st and the 3rd edition, and I pre-ordered the 4th edition. And so this isn't like a mini of the 1st edition. The 1st edition is just the size. And they are very much the same, these 2 editions, with a few differences. So there's the backs. I don't love these backs. So it's the same height, a little bit wider. And then this one, it's a mini. And this is very thin cardstock. But last night when I was playing with it, actually is amazing to shuffle. And this one is stiffer than this. And given its size, I don't think I'd ever try to ruffle shuffle it. So the colors are a little bit different. So in this one, the reds are a little bit different, and the pinks. See a little bit of green on it there. The lovers are different. And oh, why is this here? There we go. The suits are color-coded, and in the 3rd edition, the larger one, the pink of cups and the red, a little bit different, the red of the swords is so close as to be almost indistinguishable even when they're side by side. So let's get there. And each suit is a story. So the wands are purple and they're the story of a witch, which is very cool. I like very much. Let's get through these guys. And then the cups are Arabian and pink, but you see how red this pink is. And then if we get a sword up next to one of these, I'm hard pressed to tell the difference. I'm not sure what the deal is there. I would have preferred if it had been this pink, which is easy to tell apart because they don't have the name of the suit on them. And although you can see those are cups and those are cups, there's a couple that are harder to tell. Oh, yeah, the cups have one like this. The peacocks, there's no way to know those are cups other than that they're pink. And this one too. I don't always remember. It has some purple in it. I think that helps me with it. And maybe the peacocks do also have a little bit of purple in them. Maybe that's how I can remember that. And then this red is more of a crimson. This red is so close to the red used for, I wish it had been this red. It would be easier to tell apart. And then the swords always told me that the swords have mermaids in them. And I was like, well, are the swords water? But the cups were normal cups. And then the swords, I don't know. It's a little bit of a confusing deck for me in that way. But then, you know, that's your 10 of swords, as you expect it. Kind of weird. And then the pentacles are yellow and Egyptian themed. I didn't mean to go through the whole deck. So that's the Stunning Tarot, the 3rd edition and the 1st edition. And we have reached the last deck in the S's. It is the Superlunaris. Comes in this nice box. And it just has this little pamphlet here. Although online there are a lot of resources talking about the cards. And I got this used, so the gilding is worn a little, and there were many problems with it. So the first problem was that I dropped 2 cards. It's actually the only problem. I dropped 2 cards and I could never find them, and I think my dog ate them. So then I tried to replace them, and I didn't realize that there are 2 different backings to this deck. Trying to find the cards, find them this way. And so the creators very graciously sent me replacement cards, only they were the wrong back. And so then they sent me another set of replacement cards, which they sent in just an envelope with a card, and it came by the postal carriers to have been chunked up on the edge there. So I did my best to restore those cards. Maybe someday the 2 cards that I lost weren't eaten by my dog, and I will find them. So it is a collage deck, and I'm not sure if it's paintings or photography collage. And some of them look like photography, like that looks like photography. Some of them look like paintings where they just photographs were digitally altered. Maybe that was the deal. I don't know. I like it very much. I like that lover's card. It's a very popular deck. It's RWS. So you really don't need any special guidebook for it other than an RWS guide, like that one, like her. There's a lot of age diversity in it and skin tone diversity. Not much in the way of body diversity. Some, like her, like that. That's a cool devil. There's some body diversity there, like that Hierophant, like that World. So it has a fair amount of diversity in it. And that is the Superlunaris. Well, that is all my S decks, and we only have 2 more videos to go to get through the rest of all of my tarot decks from A to Z. The next one will be T, which is going to be a really long one, and then all the rest of the letters. So I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the bell if you'd like to see more content by me. And thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye. Okay, so I've decided to do a giveaway for the length of all of my decks A to Z videos. So whenever I am done doing all of those videos, this giveaway will end. And it's for the Dreaming Way Tarot. It's a mass market deck. And you've probably seen this before. I'm not going to do a full flip through. It's a very nice deck. Just isn't one that I use. So I've decided to give it away.